Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Cups the Universe. What's up, beloved Reflections of Self? Hope everybody is feeling good in this aspect of, or their aspect of situational self and awareness. I've been places, man, in my mind and in my consciousness that I've only seen me there. You know what I'm saying? And I've definitely seen the universe show me, you know what I'm saying? Not only one, I'm on the right path, but two, I'm truly who I feel I am inside. You know what I'm saying? And I shared that on my community tab on YouTube, so you might see a picture. But I'm gonna do a video about explaining it later and all that, because I understand the understanding of what it was shown to me. And yeah, so today we're just gonna have a quick discussion. We're gonna discuss because I know I've been away for a while. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been going through hardships. I just been in self, and in self, there's so much to learn that it's kind of hard to externalize it. Like to put it like I gotta come back out. Say so coming out would be like me coming down the chakras. You see what I'm saying? Me going in would be like me going up the chakras. If that makes sense. But I'm gonna do some explanations to certain things soon because now I have a deeper understanding of things. Yo, for all the youth out there, for everybody, even the older brothers and stuff that feel like, crime pays, I'm never gonna get a job, right? Yo, you know, a job is just like jail. Let me explain why. Now, there's a difference, but there's the same situation. Think about it. You do something for a certain amount of time that is gratifies your desire for a rush, right? And this stuff gratifies your instant manifestation dilemma because you're not manifesting instantly, so you have to go and instantly try to receive it, right? Long story short, a person ends up either dead or in jail, right? Now, dead or in jail. Now, you go to jail. Let's just say jail. So you be like, I'm never gonna work a 9 to 5 for my whole life and never get this type of money or that or whatever, right? Whatever situation people discuss when they speak on that. But then you're now get sentenced to about 25 years. You get sentenced to 32 years. You get sentenced to 20 years, right? And now you're in a place where the people that's holding you there get paid off of you being there and get cheap labor out of you and don't have to take care of you like if you was somebody in the society that, the government terms as somebody that's worthy to be taken care of, right? So then when people go to jail, they get degrees. They learn traits. And I'm not knocking that. Salute to everybody that's in the jail cell right now. Salute to those who came home. But check it. Because the reason why a lot of people go to jail is because they try to avoid the fact of going out and getting a job, right? Now, a person go do a crime, or however many crimes, because you always have to redo a crime because you're going to run out of money eventually. That's the whole thing of career criminal, right? So now you in jail for 20 years, you come home, and then you still got to look for a job. But peep game, you could have found a job that was like 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. And what I mean by that is retirement age for certain jobs is 20 years, 25 years, 35 years, right? And you could have worked the job for as long as you sat in a jail cell, right? Still made more money than you made sitting in a jail cell, right? And after you would finish the time, like you came home from jail saying you finished working, say 20 years, 30 years, 25 years, whatever the time is on the retirement for the job, you come out and you never have to work again. So actually the person with the job actually wins. Because not only do they know how to look over their shoulder, yeah, they gotta learn how to manage their money. They may not be able to do things that they want to do right at that time. Their time is, balanced up. You see what I'm saying? But if they go into that job, which would be equivalent of going into a jail, right? For some other people that want to avoid the job. And then it's like, okay, they do their time, you do your time, and when they come out of jail or out of their job, you come out of jail, you still have to do the job situation. They come out of what would be considered jail to certain people working a 9 to 5 and all that, and they get a constant paycheck and benefits, and now they get to just go travel the world. Meanwhile, a person come out of jail and you still got to make up that time. Now you understand what I'm saying? So technically, jail, a person goes to jail because they don't want to get a job, but ultimately the job wins. Even if you live in a fast life and you getting kilos upon kilos sold or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Hypothetically speaking to the general public. But you get all this money, right? If they don't catch you sales, they don't catch you with indictments, if they don't catch you with kingpin charges and all this other shit that they set up to stop anybody from making that much money without their approval, then the tax company will come. So either way you put it, they're going to take what you got, they're going to put you in a jail, and then you're going to have to start all over anyway. So even though people feel like, yo, getting a job isn't the thing to do, it may just be the win. You see what I'm saying? Other than those people that's entrepreneurs, independent contractors, salute to all of y'all too. It's the same thing. It's like they generate their own business. They go in between businesses and contract. See what I'm saying? But the thing with the job for all the young people is this. Now, it's good to get the job young because that's when they expect you to have the least amount of job experience. Once you get to a certain age, they're going to be looking at you like if you haven't been in the workforce for a certain amount of years. So a lot of people are going to start trying to, like a lot of hiring companies will look at you like, well, since you haven't been here this many years or been in the field, period, then you are possibly not the person that we're looking for. So it gets harder as you get older and the longer you stay out of the work field to actually getting to the work field, right? But the second thing is this. It's always good to get your money young, right? Start young, boom. But now let's just say you do your retirement years. So let's say you started at 18 and you 20 years later, 38, you got the time necessary to retire. But now you're so young that you still got to work because now it's like, oh, well, you're not the actual age. You should have, you know what I'm saying? So now you got 20 years of doing either continuous work, even though you have the time to retire. So the thing is to calculate the time of the retirement age to the time when you're trying to get into the job. And if it's too early for you to get that job, then, I mean, you take your opportunities as they come, but it'd be better for you to time it to get that job. So, like, let's say the age of retirement is 64. So you figure 64, right? You go back, what? Let's say the time for the job to retire is 30 years. So you go back from 64, 30 years, right? So that's 54, 44, so it's 34, right? So 34. By the time you turn 34 years old, you apply, or a little sooner to try to get that job at 34. Because then, without any hitches, if everything goes smooth, in 30 years, you'll actually have the retirement time and the retirement age to retire. But if you did that 10 years sooner, you'll have the retirement time at 54 and still have to wait 10 years for your retirement situation. You understand? So that's something that I just calculated in my head. Like, you know what? It's good to get a certain age before you really get into these job fields, especially if you're basing it off of retirement, because then you can make sure that you hit your retirement age around the time you put in enough years to get retired. And like I said, for all those people that are ducking jobs because they feel like crime pays more and faster, it's an illusion because it doesn't last as long. So the longevity is where crime loses to a job. Period. I don't care if a person is making $100 million a day criminally. You got to go through money laundering. You got to wash your money. You got to hide your money. It's mad nonsense that come with having money. That's a whole nother conversation. Says everybody love money, but nobody knows the dangers of having money. You see what I'm saying? So these are the dangers that these celebrities and these big business owners live every day. You think they happy because they got $100-something billion in the bank. They are scared of every person in the world. They walk past, they look in, they skeptical of every single situation. They need security at all times. They need cyber, so you understand how the things that people ask for, the things that the reflections ask for, sometimes bring more hardship than what you would even expect. But if you're just looking at the dynamics of, oh, I want this because of this, then you lose everything else that's around that circumference. You're only looking at 1 degree and you missing the other 359 degrees. You see what I'm saying? So that's my conversation today between job versus jail. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't add the entrepreneurs in there because they're the independents. They're on a good path. It's a long, hard path when you do it alone by yourself. But it's more gratifying, meaning that none of the other people know the rewards you feel. You see what I'm saying? Behind your achievements versus them chasing the mundane situation. But in a mundane situation, job is better than jail, because if you're going to do a crime and do 25 years, to come out of jail, to have to go find a job anyway, and you was young enough to get a job before you did the crime, that would equate it in the same time of jail time, but just working for the job versus being locked in the cell. Then when you finish that job, you come out, you can retire, and to calculate your retirement time of the job with your age, so you can kind of get in a close area, at least a year or two, you know what I'm saying, earlier than your retirement age, so you don't got to wait like 10, 15 years to retire. You see what I'm saying? For those that want to work and then make money so they can continue to enjoy what Earth put on Earth, like what she created for us, and life and nature and the things that was once free, that somebody said, I'm tough and I'm gonna bully you, and you now gotta pay me to get the same resource that God said you can drink from the planet for free if you can. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we facing in this world. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't be compensated for the energy that they provide. So there's a thin slope. That's why we always walk the balanced slope. We don't walk the good or the bad slope, because they both have their bias. And they're both biased toward themselves and against each other. So nobody wins. You see what I'm saying? But in the middle, we can mediate which ideas either whether come from the negative aspect or the positive aspect. What are good ideas? Whatever sent you for the moment? What is beneficial for the whole? And then we move forward. So this video is just to enlighten the youth that, you got to find your way, though. You got to find what career, how you want to play that out. But, you know what I'm saying, for those that got their hustle winning, keep winning. You know what I'm saying? But for those that don't know what they want to do with their situation, trust me, I was one of those people that was like discriminated against, but, from a very big corporation job situation at a very young age. And it's like my family never really acknowledged that, because then that would prove what I've been saying is correct about the system and how they pick and choose who they want in it and how they try to X people out of it. You see what I'm saying? Which would make things a racist situation more so than a incompetent one. But in saying that is we get past these things, you know what I'm saying? And they could have left a bad taste on my mouth where I didn't want to work for any corporations, period. But, you know what I'm saying, if I calculate certain situations and say, well, if I can get into this job field and it lasts me for this many years, by this many years, I'll be this age. If I keep up my health and situation right, I can still be moving around mobile. I can still be healthy. So if I keep myself in a certain situation, by the time I get to that age, I can retire from this working thing. I can always ensure income. Of course, after that is everything else. You see what I'm saying? But you definitely need to secure income, and they are income. So it's not like you can't use it for the benefit. It's just we get dependent on it instead of taking it and figuring out, okay, how many years we need, how much money we need to make a certain amount of money. You see what I'm saying? So it's your boy, Cups the Universe. You already know, a.k.a. Poet Lounge, a.k.a. PD Mossberg. Got a new freestyle out on my channel. It's called Crazy Crazy Freestyle. Go check it out. It's real energetic and divine in essence. And man, one love to everybody, man. I hope everybody stay in peace and stay in wholeness. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, stay whole. No more peace. Let's just stay whole and unite. All right? One.